This is a tutorial video for setting up a spreadsheet using Google Docs. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our spreadsheet, and we'll let that open. Now the data that I'm using in this tutorial is the data that we had from the GUM activity, and so we're going to lay out our data first, and we're going to let our spreadsheet do all of our calculations. In the end, we're going to create a graph that should represent the mass versus time. Okay. The first cell that I have here is A1. A1 is the name of this particular cell. Remember, everything is in either columns or rows. We need two things to say what we're looking at. And so I'm going to type in the mass of the wrapper. And remember that we should always put our labels in the cell assignment as well. And the only thing that goes now in B2 is just the numerical value for the mass of the wrapper. So I'm just going to type in my mass of my wrapper, which was 0.12 grams. From there, I'm going to create my organization for the other data that I collected, which was my time in minutes and the mass of gum. Now this was with the wrapper, and that was in grams. Okay. From there, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my values. We were doing 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to do 10 minutes. We, of course, would have extended this out to 15, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to go through quick and do this. It's now 18.57. Let's see, 16.2, 14.35, 6. So now you can see I've entered in all my data. And remember that if we were watching our significant figures as we were making our measurements using our scale, everything should have been reported out to the nearest hundredth of a gram. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fix that, and I can do that by changing my formats, and I can then add my decimals. Now there's customary decimals if I needed to do more than that, but they already have a preset at 2 decimals. So I'm going to go ahead and make everything be 2 decimal places. At this point, I now have all my data that I collected during the lab activity. I'm now going to do calculations. So everything now is going to be a calculation, and I'm looking at it in terms of the mass of the gum. So in other words, now I want the mass minus the mass of the wrapper. Okay, and I'm going to set this up as a formula within the spreadsheet. So I'm on cell C4, and I'm going to press an equal sign. And an equal sign tells the spreadsheet that I'm beginning the creation of some mathematical expression. Now I'm going to do my mathematical expression, but it's all going to be with cell assignments. So I'm going to click on B4, which is the cell that has the mass of the gum with the wrapper, and I'm going to then subtract B1, which is the mass of the wrapper. When I hit enter at this point in time, I actually get the value of what the mass of the gum was, less the mass of the wrapper. Now I want to be able to not have to type that formula over and over again, so I'm going to try to use a fill down procedure. So I'm going to take the same formula and put it down. The problem is that I always want my formula to look back at B1. So I'm going to go back here up into the formula editing bar, and I'm going to put my cursor now in front of the B, and I'm going to put in a $sign. And the dollar signs themselves in front of the B1 and the B and the 1 fix that cell location so that when I do my fill down, it will always look at that. Now my fill down move was to grab the corner and just drag the cursor down to where I want it to go, and it automatically then fills in all those points. And so you can see there's my points, and if I look at it, it's always going to go from B1, so it took B5 now, minus B1, and it created that. At this point, I've done all the calculations I need. I'm now ready to insert a graph. So I'm going to go back up to my insert chart wizard, and I'm going to click on that, and it's going to say I need a set of ranges. I need some data to look at if I'm going to create a graph for you. So I'm going to click on select the data range, and the data ranges that I'm going to look for are going to be the first one, which is my time data, and I'm just going to select the header and the times, and then I'm going to add another range, and my other range is going to be the mass of the gum. Now it's important that I actually get the header and the columns to line up. If they don't line up, then it doesn't like that. So I go ahead and I say okay. Now right now it's defaulted as kind of an odd chart, and I don't want that kind of chart. I actually want to have a scatter plot. So I'm going to click on charts, and I'm going to go down here to scatter, and then I have to click on the one with the little dots. And now what it'll do is it'll actually give me my preview of what my chart will look like. So you can see here I have my times. My times are going out to 10 minutes, and my mass is started up here and then decreased down until I flattened out. I want to now at this point in time go into my customize, because I need to have some things with my chart. I should have a chart title. So this is the mass of gum versus time chewed. Okay, and I need to say, do I need a legend? Now a legend is something that I would only need if I have more than one set of information graphed on the same graph. So I'm going to go ahead and take the legend out. Okay, so you saw that it disappeared from there. Then I need some labels for my axes. So this is the vertical axis that I'm labeling first, and this is going to be the mass of gum labeled in grams. And then I click on the horizontal one, and that was going to be time chewed measured in minutes. Okay, and it should then update, and I'll be able to see what I have here. And so it looks to me like I'm going to be probably okay at this point. I've labeled everything, I've got my points plotted, I've got a title for it. I'm now ready to actually insert this. So I'm just going to click on insert, and it shows up then as an object on my spreadsheet. Okay, it's nothing more than an object that I can move around. Okay, and right now what I think I want to do with this is I'd like to, I don't know why it's blue. All right, there we go. I want to actually take and move this to its own sheet. A lot of times it's kind of nice to have it on its own sheet, and what you're going to see that it did is it actually put it down here at the bottom. So I have, let's see, can I get down to this? All right, so you can see that I actually have sheet 1, which is where my data is, and now I have chart 1, which is where my graph is. Okay, so I have my graph. The next thing I want to do is be able to publish this so that I can see it. And we're going to do our publishing based on this just saving as an image. So I'm going to save this image, and it should download this then as a picture file into my downloads folder. So you can see that it went into my downloads folder, and it's saving it then down here as a PNG, which is some kind of a picture file. And if I want to, I can just click on that within Google Chrome, and it'll open it up, and so you can see what the picture will look like. So this is a picture now that can be inserted any place. And I'm going to go back here to our document. Okay, so what do I do with this picture after I have it? I need to show it to get a grade, and so I'm going to go to the topic set 1 and scroll down to where it says graph share doc. Okay, graph share doc is a document that I've shared with you, and you'll be able to then do this. You'll just be able to go to insert an image, and we're going to choose our image to upload. And then we just have to find where we saved that. Now, if you remember, I said it went into my downloads folder, so I'm going to open up my downloads folder, and then I'm going to look for that image. I may need to see it as a thumbnail. And Mr. Anderson has a lot of images in here. There it is, chart 1. We're going to open it up, and it'll upload and place it into there. So there you go. You now have your placed image. Now we just need to make sure that we change so that I can do some typing. Right now it's in line with text. We're fine with probably in line with text. I just need to put my name as this graph created by EA. Okay, so make sure that you tell me who did this graph, and then always put that at the top. The other option would be is to actually make sure you put your title in there, and I'll probably explain that in class as well. Hopefully this helps, and again, if you ever have to make a graph again, this should be a good little tutorial on how to make a graph and get it to work with. So again, based off of a spreadsheet in Google Docs.